India is rolling out a major change to how your messaging apps work, and it could affect millions of people. WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, Snapchat, ShareChat, all of them. The government now wants these apps to work only if the correct active SIM card is physically inside the phone. It's called SIM binding, and officials say it's necessary to stop a growing wave of digital frauds. But the move has split the tech world in half. Telecommunication companies support it, while big tech platforms say it's an overreach. Let's break down what this SIM binding rule really means, how it changes the way your apps function, and why it's causing such a fight. So what exactly did the government order? This all comes from a 28th of November directive issued by India's Department of Telecommunications. Here's what the order says. Messaging apps must ensure that their services work only when an active SIM is inside the phone. The companies get 90 days to make these changes. Any web version of these apps must automatically log users out every 6 hours, and users will have to relink their device with a QR code each time. Within 120 days, every app company has to submit a compliance report. And if they don't, the DOT says it can act under Telecommunications Act of 2023, the Telecom Cybersecurity Rules and other applicable laws. Right now, messaging apps verify your SIM once, which is during setup. But after that, you can remove your SIM, swap it, deactivate it, and the app still works fine. This directive changes that entire design. Which apps does this affect? Actually, a lot of them. WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, Snapchat, ShareChat, GeoChat, Aratai, Josh. Basically, any app that provides messaging or communication services in India. Millions of people rely on these apps every day, from personal chats to small business operations. Why is the government therefore pushing SIM binding? Officials say that this isn't about control or surveillance. They say it's about fraud, and the number they cite are big, 22,800 crore rupees. That's how much India lost to cyber frauds in 2024. The government argues that scammers, many operating from outside of India, use messaging apps linked to old, inactive or discarded Indian SIM numbers. And because the SIM isn't physically in the device, law enforcement has no way to trace the actual person behind the account. So, by forcing every active account to be tied to a live KYC verified SIM, the government says it can restore traceability in phishing scams, investment fraud, digital arrest scams, instant loan scams, impersonation frauds. Officials also say roaming users are safe. If your SIM is inside your phone, nothing changes. But not everyone is convinced. Cellular Operators Association of India, the body representing Reliance Jio, Airtel and Vodafone Idea, says that this is long overdue. They say SIM binding strengthens national security. It increases accountability for every action taken using a SIM card. It closes the long persistent gaps that scammers have used, and it removes the anonymity that makes cybercrime so hard to track. In short, telecos say that this brings everyone under the same set of rules. If you want to use a messaging app, it should work the same way the telecom network works. That is, your identity is tied to your SIM. Broadband India Forum, which includes major tech players like Meta and Google, have raised serious concerns. Their position is that the directive oversteps jurisdiction, goes beyond the Telecom Act, creates new obligations never discussed with the stakeholders, could disrupt millions of users and introduce security risks of its own. Broadband India Forum is asking the government to pause the timeline and start consultation process before rolling this out. Their worry is that if the messaging apps start depending directly on SIM cards, the government's telecom rules begin to reach into apps and platforms, areas that have previously been separate from telecom regulations. And that opens new questions. What about multi-device users? What about people who swap SIMs often? What about businesses using WhatsApp web across multiple systems? Is 6-hour logout even practical? If the rule goes ahead, here's what changes on your end. Remove your SIM. The messaging apps will stop working. Switch to Wi-Fi only. The app still will not work. Using WhatsApp web or Telegram web, prepare to log in every 6 hours. Multi-device features may get complicated. Businesses relying on shared devices may face disruption. For most people, this will not cause daily chaos as long as the SIM stays inside the phone. But it will change how people use secondary devices, laptops, and work setups. This is one of the biggest challenges to India's digital communications ecosystem in years. The government says it's about plugging a massive security loophole. Telecos say it's necessary for accountability. Tech companies say it's an overreach that could disrupt millions of users. And somewhere in the middle are the people, the ones who rely on these apps every day. Over the next few weeks, we will find out if this move strengthens our security or sparks a bigger debate on digital rights.